Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. My name is Petra, and this is Petra's Happy Place, the name of my channel. And today, this happy place happens to be in my living room. um, don't mind the mess. Don't look there. You're supposed to focus, what I'm showing you. Um, anyway, I have a lot to catch up on. I know it's been a week, only a week, but there's a lot I need to show you. I want to show you some acquisitions. I want to talk to you a little bit about um, uh, the things that I'm going to start getting involved in, and what else? Show you some works in progress. I don't have any finished objects, but that's to be expected. There are some of those times, right, when we don't have any finished objects to show. So let me start off by explaining something. I have a sweet friend. She's a sweet friend of the crochet community and the knitting community in her own right, and that is Camille, and that's Dolly Face Knits, and we always call her lovingly Camille Vanilli. I just love that. She's a good friend, and she has been, well, I should say we have been corresponding a little bit on Facebook and in Messenger, and she has her Facebook page where she, puts out stuff, and she's got some wonderful works in progress and finished objects. If you guys are not familiar with her, you need to go over to her Facebook group and see what you can come up with. Anyway, she has been trying to downsize and yarn stash bust her yarn, trying to get rid of her stuff. And like, I need to take in any more, but they're babies. You guys, yarn is my baby. The more the merrier. Anyway, so I said, what do you got? What do you got, girl? And I've already got a couple things from her. I think I've shown those in the past, and wonderful stuff. And she had some terrific prices. Now I know that shipping has gone up, so she's asked for, from now on, the buyer of her yarns to go ahead and pay for shipping, which, you know what, if you want yarn bad enough, you'll pay for it, right? Look, I did my nails in purple. They pretty? So anyway, she had everything boxed up, and it was all looking really good. And I said, well, what you got as far as, this or that? And she kept adding things to my boxes. She said, there's room in there for a book. You want a book too? Here, you want this one? And I said, oh, yeah. So let me show you the book first. It's called Convertible Crochet by Doris Chan. Now, I started reading like a book, like a novel. I started reading this. It's got a whole introductory section, and it's amazing. It is, the woman is a genius. She really, really is. I don't think she'd probably want to be called that, but she's very humble. But I have another one of her books. I can't quite remember the name of it, but anyway, this book is going to be invaluable. It basically talks about, she's got like 4 different, it's hard to explain, but the whole thing is called entropy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Entropy. I don't know. That's what it is. And basically she has like, she will take like elements of motifs, and she will change like the shape of a motif from a circle to a square to a pentagon and a hexagon and a, you know, I mean, different shapes, grow it out, make them smaller or bigger, and then there's a different um, stitch pattern in each one. And basically what she is trying to explain is that by taking those designs, the stitch patterns, and the size, and then the different shape, by mixing those up, and understanding like the increases and decreases and joining and all that kind of stuff, that you can create these shapes, that you can create these projects that can be used for this way or that way or this way, and it's just wow, wow. Like I'm going to give you a for instance that this popped into my head the other day, and I was thinking about, okay, like if you were to design something, right? If you were to design a shoulder for something, okay, like if you were going to make something, and I don't know, I don't have the things here to show. Let me see if I can just find a piece of paper here. It's a thank you card from Michael's. Anyway, so so let's say this is a square, although I don't have a big enough thing to make a square. But like if you were to make a square for the shoulder, it wouldn't allow for the drape here. You see what I'm saying? Like it'll stick out. And that's kind of funny, right? And so as crocheters, you try to get a drape so that it will lay on your shoulder. Or, have a go like this and then do like a piece here and then a piece here and then connect them. And I mean, it's just kind of funny, but I'm thinking, well, if you made a different shape and not a square, maybe what's a six-sided hexagon, right? I don't know. Anyway, like a six-sided something or other, then you could lay it and it would like conform to your shoulder and you could attach it different places. Just a thought. I'm just like, my mind was blown after reading some parts of this. It was just like, it helped me understand a little bit more shapes and how you can, and now I've got to get Kristen Omdahl's book. I can't remember the name of it, but her new book that talks about how she determines like going in a stitch, like in a rows and then in rounds, how to take the same thing. I got to get that. I got to get that from my library. But anyway, it helps me think about shapes differently. Okay? So let me put this away real quick because I want to talk about some other stuff. I want to talk about the things that the yarn. Okay, so let me I need to pull out the yarn that she sent. This is yeah. Okay, I think this is it here. No, I'm missing some. Yep, I was missing a bag of it. Okay, so I bought these two, and these are brown. Now, this brown is such a gorgeous brown, though. It has more of a burgundy undertone, and it's going to look purple, but it's brown, but it has more of a purple undertone, and I love it. It's so pretty. It's from the company Polka Dot Sheep. Now, this is all stuff that Camille had bought and was, so I'm not quite sure. Oh, this was hand dyed in Montana. Okay. And the name of the company is polkadotsheep.com. Now this is PDS Sport. It is a superwash merino, 100% sport weight, 345 yards. Yep. So I got 2 of them. So that's going to make something lovely. Oh, and the name of the colorway of this one is called Grizzly. And I can see it because it kind of looks like a grizzly bear. So, so cute, pretty. Pretty, not cute, pretty. It's pretty yarn. Um, and I like the sport weight, which is, as some of you may know, it's like a 2 weight. This though, yeah, it is a good 2 weight. But you could actually pair it with other 2 weight wools, or even some of the fingering yarn thickness is probably about that same thickness. Okay, then there are, is this the same company? Yeah. Okay, then I got these 2. Now these are from a yarn shop at Foster Sheep Farm. And I'll see if I can put that up there. fostersheepyarn.com. And this is a sport weight yarn. It's a blend of wool from the Foster. Okay, basically they're from Romney and wool from the Falkland Island sheep. So I got it in this colorway, which is called something I don't see, but it's like a cream color. And then I also got from her, this is a blue color, like a no, like a, oh, not a Williamsburg blue, but there's a name for it. I can't remember, but it's like a, not a denim. It's a little bit more muted than a denim. But anyway, got those 2 to go together, and they're 269 yards each, so I could make something nice with those. And this is a fingering weight. No, it's also a sport weight yarn, so that's nice. Then, oh, this is just luscious. Okay, of everything that she sent me, this might be my first or second. But okay, so this is from Gail's Art. And this colorway is called Pine. And it is a 3-ply fingering weight. Superwash merino, yak, and silk. Oh, it is so pretty and so soft. So soft. Oh, how attractive is that? Oh. I'm so silly. It's 400 yards. Oh, and that is definitely a fingering weight yarn. You can see the halo on there. Oh, it's so pretty. This is, it's called Pine, but let me say it's more of a, it does have little, underneath it's got some darker tones, but on top you've got a little bit of like a yellow green. It's so pretty, very, very pretty. And I told Mr. Happy, I said, this is probably not the best color for my skin tone, but I don't care. I'm going to make something with that. That's pretty, pretty. And then I got 2 saying this is the softest. Even though the other one had camel and silk in it, yak and silk in it, this one is 75 superwash and 25 nylon. This is from Knit Picks. Okay, where has Knit Picks been all my life? I love Knit Picks. I'm starting, yeah. The other stuff she sent me that I bought was Knit Picks too, but look at that luscious. This is called linen, if I'm not mistaken. It doesn't say. It doesn't say what colorway it is. But pearlescent tonal. That's what it is, pearlescent tonal. And it does have, I mean, it's like a cream base, but it has very light um, of, it's like a tan color, but then a little bit of gray blue. It's very hard to appreciate that. So, over the screen. But it is hand painted fingering weight yarn. Oh, I love it. It's just so soft and so pretty. Well, of course, the nylon's going to make it the softness of it, but it's a good thing I'm not allergic to wool. So that is what I got from Camille. And I keep saying I got, okay? Just reminder, she had some stuff for sale, and I helped her by taking it off her hands. Okay, so let me put all this back because I want to show you something else that I got. For those that have been following me and knowing my plight with my Malabrigo yarn, let me explain real quick. So about 2 years ago, I went down to my local yarn store, which is about 2.5 hours away from me, but it's the closest one we have. Anyway, went down there and I found a Malabrigo yarn that I just had to have. So I got it, and it was this beautiful fingering weight that had like tones of purples and blues and rusts and burgundies and browns. It was just gorgeous. It was like the perfect fall colorway, okay, and it mixed all in there. And it was so, so pretty. It has been sitting on my shelf for 2 years. So last month, or maybe it was the end of May, I can't remember, I started making a sweater. Not a sweater, not a cardigan, but a sweater, a pullover type sweater. And I hadn't decided yet if I wanted, how exactly I was doing, but I was doing it in Tunisian, a Tunisian knit stitch, and I was loving it. I ran out. I only had one skein. I don't know what I was thinking, only getting one at the time. So we happened to be down there in Tennessee by Nashville and went there again. And I picked up another of that yarn. It's called the Arroyo yarn. That's the fingering weight in the colorway Piedras. Piedras, Piedras. And then I thought, okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get like a color, a solid color or tonal color that would go with this beautiful yarn so that I could do like an accent. Well, I go down there and I come home, and lo and behold, it is not the same as what I got. The one that I had been working on had more of a rusty, coppery, when you like looked at it from afar, it had that kind of came forward, whereas the new one that I had bought had more of the purple under, like it would come out as purple. So, hold on. I thought it would be better if I just showed you. So this was the original, and you can see that there are all those beautiful colors. But when you look at it like this, trying to get some good lighting, and I'm not, but it's definitely has a more, it's not showing the color really, but it's more, if you see here, it has a more coppery color. Whereas the new one, now mind you, this is the same colorway. There's this one, and you see it's more purple and blues. It's the same colorway. It's not the same. So what I did was, yeah, this, you can definitely see the difference here. So what I did was I placed an order with them, and I said, okay, here's the deal. I bought something 2 years ago, and then I bought the same thing, same colorway, and the same thing, and it was different. So could you please send me two more? I want to buy two more, but make sure they're the same. Okay? That's what I love about little yarn stores like that. You know, when you ask them to check something, they read your little note. Okay? So let me show you what they sent. These two. Now, I'm looking at it now. Let me see, so you can see the different colors in here. And then here's the other one. These two are definitely very close in saturation and color, but it looks like it's going to have more of this pinky color, like there, like that pinky purple there. And I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm thinking that maybe it's more like the purpley one that I got, because still I put this one up to here and this still is very coppery and orange. Although when you look at it in some places, it looks, I don't know what to do. So if y'all have any suggestions, now I've got 4 skeins of it, and I don't think that even this is going to be enough to make a sweater. But what I might have to end up doing is just like setting this aside and using it for something completely different. And I could probably get away with, I have to look at it once it's caked up, but I think it's going to fall in line more with this one. But so 3 of them still not going to be enough for a sweater. So what I'll probably do is I'll wait until I am able to get to that store again, or take, you know, like take one of these with me and see if I can find a solid color, a tonal color that would work with these, and use it as an accent. You know, like I could do just the yoke from it maybe, and then do the rest of the with this. I don't know. I don't know what to do. So, but I wanted to show you. I got these two. But while I subscribe to their newsletter, and you get a newsletter once a week. I gotta find a spot for these. You get a newsletter once a week, and this is a local yarn store, but they cater more to knitters. Now, I read a couple of reviews. Let me take you back a second. I got onto their website, and then there's a Yelp or something, you know, when you, like a search engine, you know, it'll go to like to Yelp, and or some kind of customer reviews. And it got a really bad review, like a 1-star review. And apparently the woman was a crocheter, and when she brought up the fact that she crochets, she felt completely shunned and ignored, and that she felt very upset because, and she said she told the management that she would never return to the store, because she said she felt like, what's her name, Lillian, in Pretty Woman where she's trying to shop in a really nice store, and nobody, anyway. So um, I did not get that. And I am sorry for that one that one lady who did go in there and had that experience because I did not get that at all. Maybe I'm a different personality and I will engage. I will find some similarities, between us and not say it's you against me, knitters against crocheters, or, anything like that. But our common ground, our commonality is yarn, and that's what they have. Now, they have like one section about this big that has crochet hooks, but they've got walls and walls of different knitting needles. So that, there is that. And they have like one Tunisian set, and it was like out of this world expensive. It was almost $200. And I was like, no. But anyway, um, they have to buy for the people that come and visit their store. And knitters are what there's an abundance of in that area. And so anyway, yarn. People, yarn. Who cares? Well, anyway, in their newsletter, they they um they were talking about a new yarn that they had. Well, it got me to like looking and seeing what else that they had. I went on the website and just kind of was browsing, like one does. And I come across this yarn, and it's from West Yorkshire Spinners. Now, some of you are very familiar with them, or may be very familiar with them. But they come out of, where are they based out of? Great Britain, in Britain, okay? I guess West Yorkshire in Britain. But this yarn is it has 35% blue-faced Leicester. Leicester, I think that's the name. Yeah. Anyway, it's 75% wool, 25% nylon, and 25 of that wool comes from the blue-faced BLF. No, BFL. I saw this colorway and I was aghast. This colorway is called Bluebell Mist. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? Now you definitely feel the wool. It's not one of the softest yarns, but boy, I can see already that the definition of whatever is worked up in this is going to be so nice. And I mean, it's fine, but there are 437 yards in this, and I know it's fingering weight wool, but these were $13.50 each. $13.50. Okay, just to give you an approximate of what's going on. That Malabrigo yarn was $21.50, and that's in their store. I know you can probably buy Malabrigo online somewhere and pay a whole lot more than $21.50 for a Malabrigo yarn. Just saying. I think their prices are amazing. So anyway, I'm talking about the little yarn store. So this is Bluebell, and of course it's very difficult to tell, on the computer. I thought this was going to match. It doesn't, but it's pretty nonetheless. I went ahead and got a tonal. This is from Signature This is the same from West Yorkshire Spinners, and this is a tonal green. This is called chocolate lime. I'm not sure why they call it chocolate lime, but isn't that pretty? And it has the same specs. But I thought those would go together, but the green in this one is more of an olivey, and this is a more bright spring green. This lighting, I'm sorry guys, I couldn't film in my room, so this is where I'm filming. Anyway, this is going to make something very pretty. I'm thinking 437 yards. That would make a really pretty shawl. Very pretty. Very, very nice. Okay, so that's all the acquisitions. Oh, and look at the time. Jeez. And see, look, this is the little note that they sent. And here's where, okay, so here's the little note that I had written to them about, you know, finding the close colors, and they highlighted it so they would see it, and when they went over to go pick it off the shelf, they knew exactly what it was. I love that place. I could sit there for, I would say hours, but probably more like days. I should ask them, can I come in and just like make crochet samples of all the different with all the different yarns? I don't think they'd probably look too highly on that. Okay, so have I gotten everything? I believe so. I went through everything that I purchased, and that's it. So now I want to show you my whips. Okay, so I'll do this last. Excuse me. So this here. Okay, for some of you that have been watching, you know that I'm trying to, oh, sorry about that, make these squares. Well, I don't know if I showed you this one. Yeah, it's this way. This is the basket weave in Tunisian. And it's beautiful. I love it. I love it. So that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different squares in all different Tunisian stitches. Okay, then I started the 9th one here, and this one is the crossed stitch, you know, like the little X's. And let's see here. This is what it looks like. Now, I haven't finished this one yet. This one I've got about another inch to go, but you know, that'll take me about an hour to do. So that's that. Another project that I've been working on is one of my Christmas presents that I had been working on. As I told you, I've been wanting to do Christmas presents for each of my coworkers, and there are 6 of them, so I got to make 6. So this is the one that I wanted to make for one of my coworkers. Now, I'm going off the pattern, but I've got to get the basic principle. They're using for this stitch here. This is a single crochet in the back loop, and then, you know, just going around and, you know, back loop to make it look like it's ribbed. And then this is all single crochet. All of the main body and the sleeves in here has got it as single crochet. I went, I'm not doing that. Petra don't play that. So, I mean, doing back loop only took me forever. So this one, I said, nope, I'm doing double crochet. Now, I've got measurements, and they're doing it by measurements instead of like how many inches. And I basically measured it. She is as tall as I am, and she's very thin. So I got to make it like half my size. But I know like where to stop it, you know, like how long I want it to be. And I've got it all the way done to right here, the back side. This is the rib at the bottom. And you can see it's like, it's not, this is like thicker, you know, it's wider, I should say. But I think once I put the ribbing all around it like this, because that's what you're going to need to do, I think it will even out. I think it will pull it and it will cause it to be the same. Okay, but here's how far I've gotten it. You can see, oh, it's going to be a long one. It's going to be a long one. But this is the back, okay? And this is right here, the arm decrease right here. So I just have like 7 more, 6 inches to do here. Ooh, look at my flab. Ooh. Not. Okay, so anyway, now I'm looking at this. This is going to be way too big for her. Oh, well. Maybe I'll wash it in hot water. I don't know. It won't shrink. It's acrylic. Anyway, it'll be oversized. So yeah, I've got that much done. And then because I even had, okay, this is smaller than the smallest size. And this is even going to be too big. So I'm not going to undo it. Okay. Homie, don't play that. So I'm going to use this stitches. Okay, like it said 73, I did 63 instead. And so what I'm going to end up doing is I'll have to, when I do the front part, the front panels, I'm going to have to use it based on this new stitch count. So this is working out very quickly, so I don't imagine, I am writing down all the rows, you know, so that I'll remember the rows, how many's doing it. But yeah, that one in black. Okay, so that one's done, and you know, that got worked up in a week. So plus all the other little things I did back and forth here. I'm sorry, this is definitely going to be a long one. But I am long-winded, you know me. Okay, so one of the other projects I started on was for my coworker. Let me see if I can find the pattern. Okay, here. I know I had it, and it's around here somewhere. Oh, yeah, it's in here. Okay. So it is this one here. Okay. And it has these squares in both the multicolor, the light color, and then the dark color. You can't even see that dark color. So I looked at my stash and I went, I see how this is done. I am not going to go out and buy yarn when I've got all this acrylic yarn in my stash already. So what I decided to do, I took all of my Stylecraft greens, all of the greens, and I put them in one of my crates, and then I plugged in all of the like camel and caramel and tans and mochas and that's what I'm going to use in addition to it. Now, in my head, it says I need how many squares? Let me just double check and make sure how many squares it said I needed. I'm thinking now I miscounted. So, no, I didn't miscount. I don't understand why you have an odd number. You shouldn't have an odd number. Anyway, 61 or 63. Well, I was thinking that I could only get 2 squares out of 1 skein. So here's a skein, and I was thinking I could get 2 out of this. And I thought, so that's why I started incorporating the blues. So I started getting all the blues. Now I see I can get 3 out of them. So now, doing my count and all the green yarn that I have, I can actually make just with green and the tans. And I think what I'm going to do is each square, I'm going to single crochet around the edges, you know, that they'll all match, right? Single crochet with the, whatever I have the most of in the tan color. And I'm using Stylecraft DK instead of the 4-weight yarn that they recommend. And I'm using a 6mm hook. This is my Hobby Lobby hook. 6mm with 3-weight yarn. And I am loving it. I love it. I'm doing the same amount of rounds as they are suggesting, but I think because I'm using a thinner yarn and a bigger hook, they're coming out to be about the same size as would if I did it as instructed. You know me, I don't follow instructions too well. I've had that problem all my life. It's a cross I have to bear. Silly. Okay, so let me show you how much I've got accomplished in that one. I picked out these 2 colors. These are going to be my next colors I work on squares. And I've timed myself. It only takes me 1 hour to complete 1 square. And I've got it so that I've got it plotted out, that if I do 20 squares each month, that will give me 2 months to put this thing together. Plenty of time. Okay, so here's what I've got I've finished. Now I have not sewn in the ends. I need to do that. But here is 1. Oh, I'm not finished with this one. Okay, put that over here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I wanted to show you this. Okay, so this is this 1 yarn, and I still have this much left over. I might even be able to squeak out 1 more out of that. I'm not going to try. I'd rather not try, but I mean, I probably could. And that's the colorway Cypress anyway. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I am, I'm still working on another one in this green, so that'll be 7. And then, yeah, and it's only the 10th of the month. I mean, today I could probably knock out about 4 more. I'm not going to do it, but I could. I could if I really, really wanted to. And like I said, I'm using the 6mm hook. So I'm going to put all that back in there. That's going to work out really nice. I think so. And I mean, because you wouldn't necessarily put like 2 greens together, you know, because there's nuances in the greens. But if the whole thing is going to be green and it's going to be outlined in that tan color, I think it's going to be lovely and squishy because of the front and back post stitches. Oh, it's so squishy and it's light, and oh, I think he's going to really, really enjoy it. Okay, so another, well, I haven't done it in progress yet because even though I just decided what I'm going to do this morning, let me show you. So this blanket here, I don't know if you can tell, but this is not cabled, it is bobbles. They're bobble stitches. So I'm going to be doing this blanket for my niece and her fiance. I'm going to be making it for their wedding, or for their, yeah, you know, for when we go to the wedding. Anyway, I thought that's going to be so cool. So I went to Walmart, Hobby Lobby, and I picked up the yarn I needed to make this. And I love the color. And again, it's not what they're recommending because they wanted a medium weight 4-weight yarn and a 5mm hook. Well, this morning I took out one. I said, you know what? I'm going to be smart about this. I'm going to go ahead and do a gauge swatch, and because I want it to look like that. So I did a gauge swatch with what they said, and it was tall enough, but the stitches weren't close enough together. How do you fix that? Don't tell me. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Because it's a blanket. So what I did is I pulled out my 5.5, my 6, and my 6.5, and I did a swatch, and I thought, okay, I want to just see the way it looks, and it's all single crochet. So I looked at it and I decided which one I'd like the feel of. I wanted to have a drape. I don't want it to be so tightly woven that it just is like stiff. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And that's the way that if I did it with the hook size recommended, I would have gotten a very stiff fabric. I would not have liked that the finished product. So I've decided to go with a 6.5 hook, and it is Hobby Lobby yarn. I love this yarn in the colorway. What colorway is it? Linen. And I love this color because it's not cream and it's not gray. Well, it's no way near to gray, but it almost has a gray undertone in it. So it will go with everything white, gray, and cream. I love that. That's perfect. And I don't know what their colors are yet, so I thought that would be a perfect thing. But now, because I'm using a bigger hook, it's going to take more yarn. And I mean, it's going to take way more yarn. So I have to go and find the same. And here's the thing. I love this blanket, the construction of it, because these are panels. They're panels. So if I don't get the same dye lot that I need, because I have to wait a week now to go back because, you know, a week and a half because yesterday was the end of the 30% off, so now I got to wait for the So if I don't get the same dye lot, it's going to be okay as long as I have enough of one dye lot to make a full panel. That's my theory anyway. Okay, so I asked my coworker, I said, what's your favorite color? Because I wanted to make a top for her. Let's this is the top I was going to make. Now I didn't have, bless my little heart, I did not have the pattern with me. But that's the top I wanted to make for her. This looks just like something she would wear. I mean, seriously, it's so gorgeous. It looks like Lisa Welchel for a minute. Or no, Rachel Welch. Rachel Welch. Doesn't it look like her? Lisa Welchel? Lisa. Lisa Welchel. Yeah, that's her name. From Facts of Life. Anyway, it recommends a size 3. I didn't know that. I assumed it was a 4-weight yarn. Her favorite color is gold, everybody. Gold. Where can you find gold yarn? Well, while I was at Hobby Lobby, I found a cream color that had like a gold metallic spun around it. And I thought, well, this is the only thing that was gold. Everything else was yellow, you know, like a mustard yellow or a copper or something like that. And I said, I don't know what to do. And I was just about to walk out. I thought, I'll take one more walk down the yarn aisle, and I've never bought this yarn before, but I found the perfect yarn. It's Yarn Bee Soft Secret. I've never used Soft Secret. Now I've used the Karen Simply Soft, but never this brand. But I found gold. Look at that. So I'm so excited, and I have there's plenty in here. I got 4 skeins, and it's plenty of yarn. But it's 4-weight and not 3-weight. So I'm definitely going to have to do a gauge swatch for that, because I need to make it like extra small. She is definitely a small, well, because she's tall, I think a small would be enough. But yeah, I need to find the small. I need to make sure that the gauge works, because I want it to fit her. She seriously does look like Lisa Welchel to me. Okay, anyway. Gold. I found gold. Now this is actually called mushroom, but doesn't look anything like mushroom. It looks gold. I was so happy. Okay, so that is all my works in progress and all of my projects that I'm going to be working on. Now I want to show you my plan. I've been talking about for a long time, and I think somebody in the last comment section of my last video said that what you're saying you want to do is design. And it just clicked in me. That's exactly what I want to do. I want to start designing my own things, because, you know, like I said, in learning all this stuff about shapes and sizes and motifs and gauges and all that kind of stuff, it's just like, ooh, it's all churning inside of me, you know, and it's like, ooh, what do I want to do now? And basically I want to translate everything that I've been learning into things that I love and things that I know others can love, and maybe see designing, or maybe show patterns in a way that had never been thought of before. Maybe I can find a way to break through in a certain niche. I know there's a lot of designers. There's probably hundreds and thousands of designers out there that have patterns and tutorials and all that kind of wonderful stuff. But I'm not finding anybody that hits me just perfect. I mean, there are certain designers that get me, or I should say, that I get in that certain niche or for that certain something. But to find it all around, there's not one designer or one YouTuber or one anybody that is like, is me. And that's kind of silly, isn't it? But I think that there's some things that I have in my head that I want to translate into designs and patterns for people that might resonate with somebody that has not, they've not been able to resonate with anybody else. And even if it's just one little technique or one little way of putting it or one way of describing it, it might be just the thing that they need. And that's what I want. I want to be able to create things for me, but that other people will say, wait a second, that's way out of my league. I don't want anybody to say that about anything that I make, because I'm looking at it, I'm going, it's easy, but I realize that it might be easy for me because I'm familiar with it, or I've been doing it, or I've been really enjoying something, and it kind of clicks with me, but it doesn't click with everybody, right? So what I decided to do, now this is like a little work in progress, but I need to scoot my computer back, my camera, so I can show this to you. Oh, my clock's going off. Isn't that nice? Listen. Must mean it's 10 o'clock. Okay, so let me pull this around here. Okay, I have this basket right here. Okay, now I don't know if I'm going to keep this basket or this plastic basket, or if I'm going to use something else for this. But this is going to be my work basket. Okay, and what I've done is I've put in books that have stitches. Okay, so then I have this book, Crochet Masterclass, which has a lot of, especially here at the beginning, it talks about different kinds of crochet and where they come from, who was like the founding person, what everybody thinks about. And there's a lot of patterns in here. But I'm going to use this not as a pattern book, but rather a resource to understand different techniques. Okay, now I've got, this one is something else. Okay, this is all about the Tunisian, and it has everything I want to learn about Tunisian. Then I have oops, where's her book? Oh, I don't have it in here. Tony Lipsy's book on Tunisian. I'll have to put that in here. Okay, but I also have in here Blueprint Crochet, and it too talks a lot about, here at the beginning, it talks about construction, about placement. It talks a lot about like how to do sweaters, or wearables, I should say. Okay, what else do I have here? Oh, of course, I had to bring my new book that I just got, that crochet, convertible crochet, that talks a lot about that. And when I get Kristen Omdahl's book, I'm going to put that in here. And I still need to put in here my my stitch Bible, if you will, that has all the different kinds of stitches. So those are going to go in here. Those are going to be my reference books. I'm going to go to them as often as I need to, okay? I also got a notebook, okay? And this notebook is going to house all of my notes, everything that I am working on doing. I'm not talking about like projects that I'm making. This is called like my design workbook, my, it'll have like everything I need to know. Like if I decide to do a gauge swatch with a certain yarn with different hooks, I will write all that down in here so that I'll have a handy reference to it. Okay, now I had printed out some copies of this. These are like, so you want to be a designer, so you know, all that kind of stuff. So that is that. Okay, then what else do I have in here? I have in here also my color wheel. I have my clover gauge swatch and hook and needle measuring thing, needle gauge. Let me put this in here. Okay. All right. Then I have, now this is going to be interesting, but I have this in my head. Okay, so first of all, let me show you this. I've got a set of markers. These are just different sized black markers. And here are graphic illustration markers. So they're going to be those colors. And I'm going to explain what I'm going to do with those, just in case I need them. See, like this basket's going to be growing with me because so I need something with handles, I think, you know, so I can take it wherever I'm. So I've got my arthritis, if that works up or acts up, I should say. And then I've got, just because right now I didn't know where to put them because I'm not in my room, but I've got a measuring tape, and then I've got some different sized crochet hooks, and I just threw them in here. They are not going to be in here. What I want to do is I want to find a set of hooks, and I've got plenty of them, but just put them in one pouch. And so I have like the different sizes so that if I need to measure something or if I need to crochet up a swatch, it's right here. Then this is what I'm most excited about. Now I have to find my graph paper. I know I have graph paper, but about 4 or 5 years ago, I was following a certain YouTuber, and she did a lot of bullet journals. And what I really liked is she kind of went off into different, you know, things. But one of the things she started doing was mandalas. And I'm not talking about crocheting them. I'm talking about um, uh, um, coloring them, you know, drawing them and coloring them in. And this is how my mind went. So I thought, mandalas, there's different shapes and different, you know, different ways, different rounds, you know, there's different shapings of them and everything. And I thought, well, not shaping because they're all round. But here's the thing. If I did a circle and circles and circles, you know, outside, you know, like using get this, wait a minute, where'd it go? Here. My compass. And I draw circles around and around, you know, every ½ inch or so. And I just kind of drew out, you know, did some playing around and drew some mandalas, that those shapes could be translated into stitches. Some shapes would be a stitch pattern. And I just got to thinking about that. That would be so cool. And then once I've got like a stitch pattern, I could do, wait for it, graphs. Right? You know how you see a pattern in a book, you know, like showing, let me see if I find it here. Like, you know, something like that. Right? My mind is going 100 miles, maybe 1,000 miles a minute right now of all the different cool stuff. And then when I take my coloring pen, my markers, and I start embellishing and I start forming and making colors a certain thing, and all the colors of yarn and how to use them, and then I would be writing them down in my notebook. Oh, my mind is just going crazy, y'all. It's going bonkers. Bonkers, yes. So I'm excited. I got some tracing paper to do that. So I'm going to use my tracing paper. That way I can have my design, my mandala on the bottom, and then I could do the exact same thing on top, and I could see, from underneath, and I could write out my stitches, like X is a single crochet, oval is a slip stitch, all of those things. I could be drawing them out, and it would be so easy to read. Oh, guys, I am just like, ding, 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 ding. This is heaven for me. Heaven, heaven. I'm so excited, just to sit here and some people it's called piddling, and it might be piddling, but to sit there and say, I can do this. I can do this. I'm excited. But this might have to be put on the back burner, or like the last thing I do each month, only because I've got so many projects I really do want to finish up before Christmas. And my niece's wedding is in September, so I really want to finish that up. But I've got I've got a plan, y'all. And you know what, on 18, what they say, I love it when a plan comes together. I love it when a plan comes together. I do. So hopefully this will come together. But I've got enough yarn to start working with, don't I? Okay, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me. This has been a very long video, and I appreciate that you've stayed with me to the very end. Thank you so very much. Your support and your encouragement mean the world to me. They really, really do. Again, you have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.